Hi everyone, it's Dr. Laporte, and I wanted to talk about how you can stand out from the crowd in a job search. So, it can be really overwhelming when you start looking for a job and you think about how many people are applying to the same jobs that you are. So, over the next couple videos, it's going to take a few. We're going to talk about how you can look for jobs and internships, even during COVID, what makes a job a good job, and how the values are going to relate to your job search, even in the midst of a pandemic. Um, hopefully, hopefully these things will help you when the pandemic is gone. How companies can see you through your resume and cover letter, and how to pitch yourself. So expect a couple of videos to cover all of this. So let's get started. So, there's a lot of reasons that we have to do a job search. Jobs are not going to find us. There's this mythology that, you get a degree and people are going to line up in front of you and be asking to hire you. But the reality is there is a lot that goes in to finding a job and starting your career. So some of the things you have to think about are the steps that you have to take. For instance, writing your resume, creating your cover letter, managing your LinkedIn profile, and networking. But there's other things that you have to look at too, like the purpose, why you want a job, your needs, and the things that drive you to do the kind of work you're looking for. You're going to need to consider how failure and resiliency are going to influence success and happiness for you. And you're going to have to even consider what success versus happiness is. So there's lots of things to consider as we start this process. And because it is a process, if you want to be successful, you can't wait till you graduate to start doing the work you want to do. We have to start now. Okay? Think of it like a game of Candyland. There's no better day to start the game than today. So things to focus right now, the time that you're going to need. If you're going to explore career options, you have to sometimes expand your focus and sometimes you have to narrow it for a little bit, which means that if you know in your heart what you want to do, you might have to expand a little bit to figure out how to get there. And sometimes if there's lots of things that interest you, it's wide. You want to narrow your focus and look at one thing as opposed to another, just for a little while you get yourself going. Going back to some of these ideas that we have about jobs and job searches and futures, I have heard students say, I don't need to worry about a job. I'm going to go to grad school. Hopefully many of you will go to grad school. It may not be the right choice for you directly out of your undergraduate experience. For some of you, it is the next step in your path. But either way, many graduate schools are going to want applicants who have work experience because they're not looking for just how smart and capable you are. They're looking for evidence that you've done this. The other thing is sometimes we can use grad school as a way to delay our job process when, in fact, it makes sense to be doing both things simultaneously, to be pursuing your career goals and graduate school at the same time. It's going to give you a better look and a better understanding of your future. So here's another thing that I've heard students say, well, I'm still trying to look for a major. I haven't picked my major. I don't know what my career path is. Why should I look at jobs? Well, one reason is for a reality check. We enter college with big dreams, and big dreams are important. They keep us moving. They keep us motivated. But getting from where we are to those big dreams, if those dreams are going to stay the dreams that they are, a lot of times we'll find that what we want to do changes over time. You really have to start to understand what the entry-level roles are in the type of work you want to do. Everybody has to pay their dues. Everybody has to work their way up. Sometimes it helps to know what kind of jobs are available and which ones you're going to be able to get experience at, especially if there's some you can start working at now while you're a student. You're going to want to learn about the requirements, the different types of employers, and the settings that you might work in. Every job, there's a variety of ways to use it. So if you were going to get a communications degree, that's great. That's your training. That's your background. But where do you want to use it? What type of environment do you want to be in? What type of work do you want to do? And what are the requirements? Well, that can vary dramatically. Okay? And skill requirements can too. You can find yourself, I was looking today at postings, and I saw one, exact same title, similar kinds of companies. One of them had a very technical requirement set for skills, and the other one had a very humanistic communications and project management skill requirement. So you want to kind of get to know what's really out there. You want to start practicing before it counts. The last thing you want to do is have the perfect job opportunity in front of you and not have practice. You don't want to go into this with a resume that hasn't been reviewed and worked on, or you don't want to go into this for an interview where you haven't had a chance to practice. Okay? You want to make sure that you are polished and ready. Okay? Think about it. If you're an athlete, you wouldn't go on the field for the biggest game without doing a lot of practice ahead of time. The other thing is, through doing this, you're going to find new opportunities, you're going to gain early experience, and you're going to start to build your sense of self in your career field. So thinking about that career journey, I know we've talked about this, is we start by discovering who we are. We look at the majors and careers that are out there or where we can go. We work on developing the skills. What do I need? And then we pursue our goals of how do we get there. This is a constantly repeating process. I would say I repeat this process at least every semester when I teach the course. But professionally, this is you're always going through this, because by the time you're pursuing your goals, you're actually changing and developing, into a new person or the new stage of yourself. So consider this a constantly round and round type of process. Let's see, why didn't it switch? Okay, so job searching, let's talk about job searching. So now this is more skills-based. This is a more concrete thing to do. So I just gave you some ideas about job searching. Well, now I'm going to talk about where you start. So Handshake is a system we have, and it lists jobs from employers all over the country, possibly all over the world sometimes. And it's a great place to look for internships and jobs because they know that they're listed with Rutgers. But that's not the only place you can look at. You can look for part-time jobs on campus. I know on campus right now, well, we may or may not be on campus in the near future. But you can go to financialaid.rutgers.edu/student-work, and you'll be able to see some part-time jobs on campus. And some of these are going to be remote. You're going to find internships listed on internships.com. LinkedIn is a wonderful place to find jobs. Indeed and Monster and Glassdoor are all boards that have a variety of jobs out there. You can go directly to a company if you know the kind of companies you'd like to work for. And you can even go to industry-specific job boards like Idealist, USA Jobs, Policy Jobs. But you can Google basically any industry-specific type of job boards through Google. Okay? So this is a list of the 10 best websites for jobs in 2020. These are great websites to get used to. Don't jump in and get started applying. Take your time, look at them, and see what's out there, because you want to do your research ahead of time to make sure you really understand how to pitch yourself. If you're only going to get one shot, let's make it the best one we can. Now, other things that you want to do here, okay, other places you might want to look at are places like Way Up or Idealist or Bework. Right? These are other places where you might find, information and jobs that are interesting to you. Okay? So when we're doing this secondary research, we want to focus on organizations. Only 40% of jobs that are available are posted online, which means 60% of jobs are available but not showing up in the places that you'd expect online. And this is why you want to start your networking, but it's also why you want to start targeting organizations. If you know who you want to work for, you're going to want to start paying attention to your target industry and target organizations. Okay? Once you have this list, you can start networking. You can start, finding ways to meet people and learn more about the companies and organizations. And you can also start monitoring their internal job boards, the ones that they're going to post on their website that they may have not posted on a site like LinkedIn. Okay? So right now, if you take a look at this, okay, this is We're Hiring database. Database of 12,000 recruiters who are hiring right now. Okay? So this is something you might want to look at as well. And there are some tips, okay, on how to handle communication with recruiters. So if you're looking for some of these big, big companies especially, you might want to play, around in this database, get to know it. But remember, always do the work before you jump in and get started. Right? So Harvard Business Review tells us that networking is necessity now. It's not a luxury. The majority of people who land jobs, especially those unadvertised jobs, are through networking. And networking is building this loose network of people that you know. For me, it's people that I might have worked with in prior lives, but it also can be people that I've gone out of my way to talk to and get to know. It could be people I've met at conferences. There's lots of ways to build this idea of networking. For me right now, one of my biggest networking opportunities is I'm working with a group of learning designers in a group called Design by Humanity. Okay? And so I'm on a team and we're doing really, really worthy work. And I'm building a new network there. And the goal there is to have the relationships, not to get a job, but to have this relationship and these resources and to be a resource to other people. And it's very rewarding. And connecting this way is helpful for when jobs are going to come up. Okay? So here's just a breakdown of how hires are made. 70% of new hires are from employee referrals, social connections, personal contacts, networking. 20% are applying online, and 10% are through recruiters. So look where you want to put your, you want to put your attention here on this networking, and it can be overwhelming. But don't think about it as meeting people in your field, not asking for a job, because the thing about networking is you're not asking for a job. You're just asking for connection. And connection, especially during COVID, is valuable. So these are just a couple things to think about, that networking is essential. We may not always think about it, but it's an essential part of our life. Okay? We want to make sure we connect with others. We want to be part of the discussion and build relationships. The three things that go into networking, the three bones of networking: the wishbone, what do you want? And who can help you? The jawbone, let's talk to people. And the backbone, which is persist, persist, persist. Even if somebody says no, it's okay. Maybe you reach out to an author, 10 different authors, and 2 reply. One says good luck, and the other one talks to you for 3 hours. That 3 hours is so worth the time you've put in. So getting started on this, okay? How to organize your COVID job search. Well, recognize and address your emotions. Know that panic's not going to serve you well, okay? And that you need to take care of yourself. That does not mean, flowers and nice music, although some people that works for them. It means paying attention to how you feel and what you need. Okay? Accept where you are, right? Start prioritizing the jobs that you're really looking for, the employers you want to work for. Look for good jobs, the ones that are matched to your unique skills and strengths. And remember, you are unique. We just have to figure out what makes you unique. And then look for backup jobs, or think of backup jobs that are easy to get, but they're maybe not as aligned with the interests or strengths. They're going to feed your stomach, but maybe not your mind, right? Or your heart. Okay? And start thinking of good jobs as work that you're good at, work that helps others, engaging work that lets you into the state of flow where you feel like you're really using everything you know, where you're going to find supportive colleagues that fits your personal life and meets all your needs. Okay? So start thinking about good jobs now, and we're going to keep having this conversation in the next video.